Mm. Oy.
Ready?
Couple minutes.
You get to
Seconds.
You smell good.
I farted.
Oh my
What- What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone?
Hi, everyone.
I'm Ron.
I'm Angela.
And this is Chatter of
Opinion.
Opinion. Now, today we have a good topic that was brought to us by a listener,
Yeah.
a follower, supporter, as I would say, a supporter.
Yeah.
And today we are going to talk about terms of endearment. However, we're going to talk about terms of endearment when it comes to a service worker, somebody that's providing a service for you, using these terms of endearment towards your significant other or your partners.
And
what?
And we're saying, is it okay? It's fine, or hell no?
Okay, it's fine. Hell no, we ain't going for that.
No, we ain't playing that.
Yeah, so it happens on a daily basis.
I think so.
You know what I mean? When individuals are providing a service for you, especially when it comes to like a food service or something like that, and they're trying to be courteous, sometimes it gets to the point where individuals are so comfortable, but they don't realize what they're saying and the effects of what comes out of their mouth when it comes to the choice of words.
I think it's also the intention behind it.
But the intention only comes from the person that is receiving, right? So, because somebody could say something, and I'm pretty sure we'll get into this later on, but somebody could say something, and it might not mean nothing to me, right? Yeah. But it might mean everything to you. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on the situation, the atmosphere, how the person comes across, and whatnot. And we'll get into that.
Maybe the context.
Maybe so.
Maybe the way they say it.
The emphasis, the emphasis on what they put on it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's get into it. What are some words when it comes to some terms of endearment?
So we have a list. We have sweetie.
Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
Okay. Doll. Hey, doll.
Okay, that's normally an older term though, because I don't hear nobody say doll anymore.
I feel like hairstylists when you come in. Hey, doll, how are you? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, because I do go to the hairstylist often.
Love. Hi, love.
Okay. What about baby girl? Like a lot of people say, "Hey, baby girl," or this, that, and the other. And, okay.
To me, that's you trying to pick up somebody.
Really though?
Yeah.
All right.
That, in my opinion, beautiful.
Okay.
Hottie.
Hot stuff.
Gorgeous. Hey, handsome. Cutie.
Cutie pie.
Or sweetheart.
Sweetie pie. Sweetheart.
Yeah.
All of those can be used as a term of endearment, positively or negatively.
Well, I don't know about negatively, but positively or inappropriately.
So appropriately or inappropriately.
Okay, yes.
Right?
Yes.
I don't know if I even pay attention to a person that is talking to me and calls me sweetie or hun or this, that, and the other.
I think you're oblivious.
Okay. Because I'm not paying, I'm paying for the service. I'm not paying for the attention.
I hear you, but I think in general, because I've talked to you about this, you're just really nice. And even the way you talk to people, even when you don't use...
I wouldn't use those
words
terms.
Of endearment. No, correct. But you're very like, hi, how are you today?
Yeah.
How was your day at the drive-thru at Burger King? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And although that he's not being inappropriate, some people, just because someone's nice, can take it a certain way, right? And so if someone were to like call you sweetie or whatever, I feel like you would be oblivious to it.
I might be, because I don't really pay attention to stuff like that, unless you are like, hey, sweetie, like, hey. You know what I mean?
I just talked to him about Vegas, guys, so don't get me started about that.
Vegas.
He's oblivious.
Okay. What happened in Vegas?
Okay. We went to this bar on the Strip.
It was Pete Rose's bar.
Oh, you remember? Oh, yeah, it was actually. Yes. Yeah, that baseball one.
Yes.
So we went to that restaurant and it was like dead. There was like no one in there. And so we weren't sure if they were opened.
It wasn't just us.
It was a whole group of us.
Okay.
I think it was your TWC group.
No, it was just me, Todd, Jeff, and because we had went prior to our reunion. That's
what I said. Yeah. TWC group.
Just a couple of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had to be specific.
Yeah, because the group is everybody. You're talking about 16 people. No.
So, okay. So we go to this restaurant and I'm in front of Ron.
Yes.
And I approach the girl who comes out onto the outside area to let us in, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, hi, we need a table. And she looks past me to this guy. And she's like, for how many?
I said, just the two of us, girl. Just the two of us.
No, he didn't.
No, I didn't say that.
He did not. Like, totally just disregarded me. Just even like when she was sitting, like taking us back, you know, she, of course, Ron was past me now and like is following her like to the table, right?
Okay.
Like,
yes, to be seated.
Was I not heated that day?
But you was heated, and we'll get to this, at me.
Because you ate into it.
Oh my God.
You were oblivious, babe. You were oblivious.
All right. But terms of endearment are used on a regular basis. She didn't use these terms of endearment. She just ignored you. So then you got a little butthurt because she ignored you and started talking to me. However, there are situations that you get into where you were sitting at a restaurant and a waiter or waitress comes to your table and they address your significant other with a term of endearment, like sweetie or sweetheart and so forth. Is that right or wrong? And does it depend on a certain things when it comes down to it?
So I want to first talk about why could someone take it wrong?
Or how could they take it?
Or how.
Okay.
Right? So we said it's disrespectful.
Okay. It would be disrespectful to,
why?
It could be disrespectful to both individuals. Like you're disrespecting me by calling me that when we don't have that personal connection. And you might be disrespecting my partner because those terms might be used as something sentimental or something, how do you say it? With feelings behind it. Okay.
And normally people do tell people they care for, like call them those names. Right.
And see, Gina says, I was not trying to be rude. I agree. I wasn't trying to be rude. I didn't say nothing to the girl, the young lady.
All right. We're moving on from that. No, just kidding. Okay. So Crystal says, I call my patients sweetie sometimes, and both men and women.
Okay.
Then she says, that's Patrick. Patrick is so nice to everyone.
Yes.
I used to think he was kind of flirting, but he's genuinely nice and thoughtful and helpful to others.
My boy.
I agree with Ron did that too. And did I not have to tell you? I'm like, babe, I know that you're just nice. You're very nice. I get it. I'm just saying sometimes oblivious people can take it as, oh, he likes me or he's flirting just because he's being nice.
If they take it that way,
endearments, he didn't do anything. He was just nice, but crazy. Some people are crazy.
Yeah, but if they take it that way, that has nothing to do with me if I don't pursue how they take it. If I just say what I need to say, like, hey, and normally I'm just nice. I don't use terms of endearment. I don't go to the drive-through and call people like babe or sweetie or this, that, and the other. I don't do that. I'm just nice. Hey, how are you doing today? You know what I mean?
I think my main issue is not necessarily just using the word, but more like, are they, oh,
touching you?
touching,
Oh,
or
no,
are
that's
they again like maybe ignoring your significant other, the way they say it? I think that there's other like telltale signs
okay. So
that would make it
that would be
inappropriate.
disrespectful,
Yes.
right? So the next
Bold
one
with
would
it.
be inappropriate,
Uh-huh.
right? And to me, I think it's inappropriate when you say, like a person to say, "Hey, sweetie,"
Mm-hmm.
and I'm reading the room,
Mm-hmm.
and I see that you have an issue with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I continue on doing it.
Yeah.
That's inappropriate.
Yes.
Or if it's
You're
something
not
that is personal to
picking
me,
up on the signs.
right? If it's something
Yeah.
that's personal to me, and I use that same term towards someone else,
Mm-hmm.
that would be inappropriate. Like there's certain words like beautiful. Hey, beautiful. If I'm sitting there and a waiter comes
Yeah.
and says, "Hey, beautiful," I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna give it to you once. But if you keep on at it, then I might not say anything because that's just me. But I might say, "Hey, man, you think you can use like another word?"
That's how you would correct them?
Maybe, and we'll get to that correction
Okay,
thing
yeah.
towards the end.
All right. Next one, condescending.
Okay.
Right? Because some people also do use like sweetie, like with attitude.
Boss, yeah, like
Yeah.
babe, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So, yeah. Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Listen here, sweetheart.
Yes. Like,
Rod,
because you got to
yes.
put toot in it.
Like,
When you
yes.
use sweetie in a condescending way, sweetheart. Yeah. So maybe.
And then patronizing.
Yeah.
I think that's another one where, again, when people are in arguments, they'll be like, sweetie, but it's
Babe.
like, what? You know?
Yeah. Doll.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I can get that. I can
So,
get that.
okay. So, why?
Okay.
Help me if I'm like not explaining it why. Like, what are some of the reasons that using terms of endearment just could be
Okay.
parts of life?
Yeah, like you don't think nothing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't think anything about it.
It's just the way you are, right?
Right.
It had nothing to do with you thought they were this or that. It just, okay, so we said culture.
Like black folks, you know, especially like the old school, they'd be like, "Come on in here, baby, get you some food.
Yes.
You know, come on, honey, get you some
Yes.
food and do this, that, and the other." And they don't mean nothing by it. That's just a cultural thing.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Like when you know, and not just blacks, but you know, folks use like sis or brother, this, that, and
We
the
said
other
that,
to
yeah.
associate you with like a family when you're not family. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So sometimes that means something to a culture.
Correct. So if you go visit an area where they are like that, and then you're there and you don't realize, and then this girl's all of a sudden calling your man sweetie or
Yeah.
sweetheart, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But you just don't realize that that's actually just used
As
commonly in that
common,
area.
Yeah. Like when we was growing up, I always thought like New York folks from New York, especially guys, always use
says
son.
this.
Like,
Yeah.
what's up, son?
What's up, son?
What's up, kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, why you calling me
Yeah.
son? Not your son or your kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is what it
So
is.
again, that would, I think, fall within the geographical.
Yeah. Well, geographical is the same thing. Like not just culture, but sometimes,
Location.
yeah, in the South. When you go in the South, like I went to Louisiana a couple of years ago. I went to high school in Louisiana too for my freshman and freshman year. And it was always sweetie, you know, they always, as a sign of welcoming you, they use terms of endearment and you don't think nothing about it. Like
Right.
sweetie this, a hun, or honey, or blah, blah, blah. You don't think anything about it because geographically, that's just how individuals was raised to show you a sign of you are welcome.
Yes, I agree. Next is just the older generation.
Yes.
Right? They're just old school. That's what is that a mosquito?
Maybe so. Just
they
old
like
school.
my blood, guys.
Focus.
Sorry, but
focus.
they're not good for me.
Focus.
Okay.
So what did you say? Old school generation.
Old
what?
school generational.
Explain.
Well, again, they're just older. That, like you were saying just now, when you were like, "Sweetie, come in and eat, sweetie." Like some of the older generations just have that little like careness about them.
Yeah, Gina says in our culture, when we greet each other, we kiss each other on the cheek Okay, I can see that. We see nothing wrong with that because that's what our culture does. But other cultures might see it as being different.
Yeah,
I agree. You know what I mean?
agree.
When you kiss somebody on the cheek or whatever, and let's say an outsider comes in and you kiss them, they might find that a little strange, or they might think that you're coming on to them because you immediately kissing them on the cheek. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know why I just picture like an innocent guy who's like totally oblivious and he's like, she just kissed me. Like, I don't know what to do with this, you know?
Like, how old is your mama?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, so Crystal says, but also, is the waitress calling both of us sweetie or just my man?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It does not matter.
Yes.
No.
It does matter.
Because I can call you sweetie. I can call you sweetie and be like, hey, sweetie. And then I can see your man and be like, sweetie, hey, sweetie. Like, hey, sweetie, you want some more water? And I'll be like, sweetie, you want some water? And I'm gonna put this out here. Man, did I get off?
But I think what Crystal's saying is
she just zoning in on your man, or
directed at?
Right? But you will know the difference between a flirtatious sweetie and
but
just
some people are oblivious.
No, you will know the difference.
Oh, I certainly
will.
And even if I don't know the difference, I'm gonna make up the difference.
You're gonna make up the difference. See, I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry. You have another comment, though.
That's Jasmine. I'll address that in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, when it comes to them addressing both of you guys, you have to decide if it's going to be what manner.
Correct. But that's what I think what she's saying is if you're in general, sweetie, but if you're directing it at one person, that's when she thinks she has an issue.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
What?
I think women, and I'm going to say this.
Are going to be more effective?
I'm going to stand on my soapbox and say, I think those words only mean something to women when the waiter or waitress looks a certain way. If the waitress was like not attractive, right? If the waitress was not attractive, yes,
grandma.
Crystal could care less if that woman called her man sweetie. But if she was young, attractive.
I'm sorry, but there's some older women who try to flirt too.
But I'm just saying, if she was older, or you didn't think that she was a threat, or you didn't think that she was your man's type in some type of way, you wouldn't be affected. When she calls your man a certain thing, you scope her out. You be like, this bee is trying to do this, this, and this because she looks a certain way. Yes, only because she looks a certain way. That's messed up.
Hold my fork, babe.
Triple charm. Unless you really throwing yourself at us, we won't pay attention. I agree. We're just really friendly people. I know, Jasmine. Speak on it. My boyfriend also thinks I'm oblivious to it. No, oblivious to it. When somebody's coming on to her, she has no clue. Only because when we use an act of kindness or talking to someone to ask them how they're doing, we're doing it from a genuine place saying, hey, how are you doing? Not as a flirtatious act. So we normally, as my family, talk to everyone. So when somebody says something to us, we're just oblivious to it because we're not thinking that they're trying to come on to us or it's inappropriate. We're just thinking they're being as nice as we are.
So I feel like that would just be part of like cultural, geographical, just where you came from.
I would agree.
All right, next one. They are just certainly
flirting. Yes.
It's flirtation. It is what it is. Hey, how are you going to handle it?
I've seen it. You've seen it. Like a young lady or whatever, a young man comes over to the table and he's just downright into your significant other. Yeah, downright into your significant other. Now, I don't know what words, when we're on flirtatious, that a male waiter can use
that would be
too much when it comes to
sexy.
Like, hey, sexy.
Yes. Or gorgeous, beautiful.
But what if it's like you wearing a dress, right? And what if he says, ooh, hey, sexy, what can I get for you today? Would that be inappropriate? Or is he just addressing how you look because you dressed to the nines?
think that's inappropriate.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay. So sexy
I think
would be
that's
inappropriate.
borderline. Yeah.
All right.
Becca says, I'm oblivious too. I'm just nice. I agree.
There you go.
Becca's always very nice. So, yeah.
Yes, I agree. Sometimes you just got to be nice to everyone because you never know. You might fall on hard times and you might need a job, and that person recognized you and was able to get you that job that you needed. So you never know.
Yeah. Okay, next one is connection. Like if you just feel like you have a connection, like, okay, sis, right? Or okay, girly, or whatever, right? Again, that's more of like a girl, I got your back, girl power. But on the flirtation side or inappropriate side, I mean, it may be taken as inappropriate sometimes, but you're just more like, God, I see you. Right. Well, there's this connection.
And just like I said, I went to the dentist today, and the person that cleans my teeth or whatever,
she's been with us for like
forever, right?
Years since we've been going there.
So she asked what the topic was today, and I told her what the topic was, and she says, well, she calls everyone boo.
Boo, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, what do you call like your partner? She said, well, I call my partner boo too. And I said, well, what is the difference between the boo when you call your partner or the boo that you call your coworkers or this, that, and the other?
Totally agree.
And she could not tell me a difference. So I
would be a little hurt. Like if Ron called me babe or sugar. Sugar's a good one. We didn't add that on there.
Sugar.
You know what I mean? Like, and then he called other people. I'd be like,
what's the difference?
Wait up.
Yeah. Like, what is the difference between the two?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just depends on your personal connection with individuals.
And then last one would be attention.
Yeah. Sometimes if I call you a certain thing, if I'm a waiter or a waitress and I call you something, a lot of times that'll get your attention, or I'm gaining your attention. Like every time I come back to the table, I'll call you something else. Like sweet thing, like sweetie, hey, I'll be back. And then the next time I come over, hey, hon, do you need this? Yeah. And that's to gain your attention.
That's borderline disrespect.
It may be. Depends on how you take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would not want to call somebody else when or what I call my significant other. It's not genuine. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. I don't call anyone else babe.
But it just depends on if you have like a pet name that you call like your significant other. Or if you use those terms of endearment. Normally, you don't use terms of endearment outside of your house to just some randos.
Like I would be pissed if you called someone else Rodriguez.
What?
Because that is my name from you.
Okay. On to the next.
All right. So we made a list of what you would do in the case of you consider it a hell no.
Yes.
If someone were to call your significant other one of these terms of endearment.
Right.
Words.
So if somebody is a waiter or waitress is coming over to your table, or a cashier or whatever is servicing you.
Yeah.
What would be hell? Like, what would you do in that case if you felt uncomfortable?
Okay. First one, which you kind of
hinted on is say something. You know what I mean? Like you say, hey, I agree. Well, I heard that you called me this, and I don't think that's appropriate. Could you please use like another word? Or don't use those terms when it comes to addressing me.
Yeah.
That is the most subtle thing to do in that situation.
I think I'd be like, oh, no, we're not doing that.
See, but why cause a scene when that person might not know?
Why is that causing a scene if I'm just saying, oh, no, we're not doing
because you're not going to say, oh, no, we're not doing that nicely. You're going to do it with an attitude. So you're causing a scene.
The way I said it just now didn't have an attitude.
It wouldn't come out your mouth like that, though. Thank you. So,
in the heat of it?
So.
Well, yes. Possibly.
Next, what would you do?
Next one is you would leave. Like, hell no, didn't do that. Let's go.
What would be the point?
Pack your stuff.
But what would they say to the extent that you would get up and leave?
It's not necessarily what they say. I think it's how they say
it. Okay, well, how could they say something as a term of endearment for you to get up and leave?
Again, it's the way the emphasis on it. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like we've talked about this before where it's just like inappropriate. Like it's just like disrespectful. And it's obvious. There's no hints or subtleness to it. Just bold, disrespectful.
So you would
Yep.
let them win by getting up and leaving. You would leave. You got dressed and you went to an establishment. Someone made you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You would just leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then especially if it just happened at the beginning, I'm not sitting here a whole meal uneasy or with a tude.
Okay.
Not gonna do it.
If another woman is calling my man boo, it's not up to me to correct it. My man should correct. That's
We're
next.
gonna get to that.
Hold on
Who
a
said
second.
that?
Gina, hold on a
Good
second.
girl,
That's
Gina,
next.
you read our mind. Okay, Meg says, I would say it the same way, Angela.
No,
And
Meg,
then
you would not.
she says the tone in their voice. Are they touching their arm or their shoulder? That's what I told Ron. It's different when there's other things to it. Like if they're touching you and he's like touching you. I'm like, yeah, touching you.
Yeah.
And then she says it's obvious unless the waiter and your spouse is deaf or blind.
Hey, I don't know if it's obvious because I don't pay it no attention. Jasmine says, man, comp my meal for the inconvenience.
Right?
I'm going to finish my meal. She said she going to finish her stuff. She ain't finna leave. Comp that for you tripping.
Meg also says, I have made a scene and will do it again.
See, like I said.
So she's had it happen.
When it comes to women.
Wait, real quick. Meg, what was inappropriate? What word or what did that person do that was inappropriate?
That's, yeah.
Call us if you want. Our number's on the bottom because it seems like a juicy story.
Yeah, I would want to know because I don't know if there's any situation unless a dude is totally disrespectful and posting up and saying some inappropriate stuff for me to either get up and leave or not address a situation as a man.
I'm sorry to have to bring this up, but that's the way I feel with that girl. Yes, she didn't say something, but it was blatant.
It wasn't blatant.
It
she
was
just didn't
blatant.
Want to deal with
you were just oblivious. There was no reason she shouldn't have dealt with me. I was the first one up to the line.
She couldn't see you.
If you make a short joke right now.
Well, I don't know what the sitch was. I just know it was not my fault. I didn't do anything.
It wasn't your
to
fault.
Provoke this young lady.
Although I do feel like you should have noticed.
I did not
and
notice.
Should have kind of put a stop to it.
We're gonna get to that part.
We are.
All right. What's next? You said
all
attention.
Right. Next one is report them.
Okay, report them to who, Karen? Who are reporting them to? You want to speak to the manager?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'm sorry, but the pet name she's calling my husband or my wife is inappropriate.
Okay.
It's making me uncomfortable.
I get you.
Please stop.
Jeanette Bishop, what's going on, young lady? She says, oh, no. It's a disrespect, especially she sees me with my man. Mm-hmm. First of all, I would tell her something and ask to speak to the manager. Very unprofessional on that person. Okay. And I agree with you, depending on how you actually feel about what he or she has said. But I think at the lower level, I would speak to the individual first and say, hey, what you are doing is inappropriate. I feel as though it's inappropriate. Right? If you continue on, if the person continues on doing it, then now I need to take it to another level.
Manager.
Yeah, now
like there's levels.
I'm gonna give you a chance to correct yourself.
Men to chime in. It's all women, and granted, we love your comments,
but
I just want to hear other than Ron's perspective.
Only because I don't think a lot of men, waiters or cashiers
are bold like that.
Are bold to just come and just holler at somebody and use inappropriate terms of endearment in front of another man. I don't see that happening too often.
Again, we assume all couples are of different genders.
I agree.
So I did tell Ron that. I said, what if it's like two lesbians? Maybe they're both hot.
Or two guys.
Yeah, I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah,
and then the waiters like the opposite sex thinking they're just besties.
Maybe so.
And then they're like, hey, sexy. Not really. Wait, this is my wife. Like, that's inappropriate.
Maybe so. Or where we at on the board? We have report
Hold
them.
on.
All right,
Meg says if we can make the live videos shareable.
I think they are
I think they are too, Meg.
Yes.
But let me see.
So Gina says, when somebody calls me something other than my name, I say my name is Gina. Miss Gina, if you nasty. Nice to meet you. I agree. If somebody calls you something,
you have to go make it public instead of just friends.
Okay, I agree. If somebody does call you something outside of your name, you probably do need to. You probably do need to address that situation.
Okay, Meg, you're good now. You should be able to. I wonder if that's why now it comes up because we don't make them shareable.
Maybe so.
We're learning, guys. Okay. All right. Next one. Request another person, because guess what? I'm eating, but I don't have to be uncomfortable with you. So,
like I said, I'm not leaving. You can get somebody else to come over and wait on me, but I done sat there. I done got comfortable. I done did this, that, and the other. I am not leaving. Bring somebody else. Just because this is your section, bring Steve or somebody else over to wait on us because this right here is not working.
And I'm not putting up with my girl's attitude.
Yes.
And she needs to eat. She was already angry, right?
Yes.
I could see you saying that.
My boyfriend is joining for y'all's male opinion. That's right.
Good.
Join.
Thank you.
How did you make that shareable though?
Oh, so you gotta get out and then go here. Edit privacy and public.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So yes.
See? Oh, good to know. Now they all come up there.
Okay. But yeah, that's I'm not leaving. I know this is your area, your zone, you making your money or whatever, but I'm requesting somebody else to come through. Period. Because one thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to leave, and then I'm not going to sit there and listen to my significant other all up in my ear, making my meal uncomfortable because she was uncomfortable. Somebody was coming on to me or using these terms of endearment.
Yes.
Yes.
It's so funny because I just started a new book, and it's kind of borderline like that. Like it was like obvious. This lady with her husband and 2 kids moved into this neighborhood, and the neighbor came and introduced, and she was like touching her husband and just the way she was like talking to him and complimenting him. But yet the woman, she was always like criticizing, and you know what I mean? And that she was like, it was bold with it. And I was like, ooh, and some people can be like that. Maybe they're oblivious.
They can.
Just saying. All right. Next one is, you say this.
Promoting violence. She says, beat that, whoop that trick.
Yeah.
Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. No.
We've watched that movie too many times. Oh, God.
So she says, if somebody's coming on to your significant other, whoop that trick. Get them. No.
And it's happened. I'm just saying.
Yes. But you know what? And I will say this, though. If it gets to the point where you got to throw blows, that means that you have addressed the situation and the person, once again, continuously.
I disagree.
No, you don't. When
I disagree because some people can be hot-headed, men and women. And if they feel disrespected, they're just going to like. So
if somebody comes to the table and they say, hey, sweetie, and you take it the wrong way, first thing you just going to get up and start swinging?
Some people, yes,
I fail to
there
believe
are
that.
people like that.
I fail to believe that.
Well, then you're not tainted yet.
Yeah, I just fail to believe it. I think your attitude towards what that person said will come out first. Mm-hmm. And then if the person doesn't correct the situation by paying attention to your attitude, because you're going to be kind of vocal, like, I know this girl didn't just say this, or I know this dude didn't just say this, or whatever. And if they don't pay attention, then that's when you get up and have some fisticuffs. You know what I mean? Some fisticuffs, some body blows.
I've never heard that word used. No.
I guess I'm showing my age.
Maybe.
But yeah, in that case, I can see that. But you don't just automatically get up and start swinging.
Yeah.
I don't see that. But that's just me.
I think it happens, especially if people are hot-headed. So you shouldn't do that if you don't know how that person's going to react.
If you're hot-headed and I know you're hot-headed like that, I ain't taking you nowhere. We ain't going out in public like that. If the first thing that you do is start swinging when you think a word is disrespectful, we eating at the house. We picking it up. And you sitting in the back seat when I order the food.
I disagree with you.
What?
Because you said back in the day that someone like that was who you gravitated towards. Like women who were like...
Not fighting.
No one says about fighting, but trying to stand up. I know, but I'm just saying... I don't necessarily mean like, but to like be like, look.
Right. But
you know
I said
mean?
aggressive,
like,
but
right.
After there's steps to it. You don't just automatically start off with aggressive. If somebody came to the table and she says, hey, sweetie, can I get you some water?
There's
you
some people who are just hot-headed.
Well, I can't
just
see that
don't,
part.
Yes, because you're very like calm and you're very zen and you're very...
You're
very laid back. You're very reasonable. There's other people who are not.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Last one is make them jealous. I know my man's not going to go cheat just because you called him sweetie. So like use it to, you
trying to make the waitress jealous?
Yeah. Just like, this is my man, bitch. You know what I mean?
I don't understand that part.
I'm just saying, like, I know like by you flirting, my man's not paying you any attention because he has me right by his side.
What I'm saying is
the confidence, like
that when you go out of your way, if a person makes you act outside of who you are, that's an issue. You know what I mean?
That's like who they are.
Yeah, if somebody comes to the table and you just relaxing to begin with, and then they say like sweetie, then all of a sudden you just overdoing it. Like, nah, man, don't be somebody that you ain't. If you're uncomfortable with the word or the situation, address that. But don't go outside of your character just to prove somebody else what you got.
I'm just saying sometimes that is their character.
Yeah, because now, and once again, I'm going to say about these women, the more you do, the more they do.
Sometimes.
Yeah, when you start acting a certain way, then they start acting a certain way just to get to you. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
All right. Now it comes to it, guys.
The question of the day.
In this situation.
Woo, speak on it.
Whose responsibility is it to check the person?
Is it the person that is being called
the endearment?
Or is it the person that has the problem with the words of endearment? Oh.
You go first. What do you think?
I think if you got a problem with it, you address the situation.
He would say
Sorry, Gina. If you got a problem with it, you address the situation because, like you said, I might be oblivious to what's going on. I don't have a problem with it. But if you address it and you have a heartburn or you butt hurt over it, you address the situation. Don't put me into it. Why should I tell this person how you feel when you sitting there too? You tell that person how you feel.
Because you should know it's inappropriate for someone else to call you that.
It just depends on what they call me. It depends on what they call me.
And how they say it.
Maybe so.
Correct.
But
so it's your responsibility to gauge it and protect your person.
Negative.
Yes.
Negative.
Yes.
If that person says, hey, hon, do you want me to fill up your water? And then I'll be like, yeah. And then I give her my cup.
And then she's like, and would you want your water filled?
No.
Yes, that's the point Crystal was saying. Like when there's a significant difference in the way that person talks to one person versus the other.
Right.
And it's obvious.
But if it's obvious, then it becomes flirtatious.
Okay.
But if I say.
Which is inappropriate.
Right, but if she says, hey, hon, do you want your water filled? And I'll be like, yeah. And then she goes to fill my water, and you'd be like, that girl said she called you hon. I don't like her calling you hon. You say that to her. Because I didn't take it no way. I just thought she was being nice.
The way you gave the example,
What you mean?
Cheryl or Karen or whatever is in your imagination right now, that was nice. But I'm talking about the disrespectful ones.
If you think, oh, okay, if that person came and it was disrespectful and on a flirtatious, I guess, action, if it was flirtatious and it was obvious that this person is flirting with me, that to the point where it made you uncomfortable, then it is my responsibility to check the waitress, right?
Meg says the person who has an issue with it and the other person should always be on their side, their ride or die. So she's saying that if I do bring it up, that you should back me up. Even if you don't see it the same way, but
I get it, and I back you up.
Okay.
And I back you up. If you have a problem with it, my main responsibility is your feelings because I have to go home with you. However, it is your responsibility to check talk to the individual.
She also says the person getting flirted with should act cold, meaning not interested, and move back from the waiter if they can, so they know I'm not interested if they don't want to say anything.
But it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with you're irritated. You feel disrespected. So if I back up or not, and that person still uses these terms, that's still not going to satisfy you because you're sitting there thinking you're allowing this woman to call
Probably
you this
not.
in front of me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think like if a dude came up and he's using these words and I think they're disrespectful, I think and like I said, I think they're disrespectful. I would address the guy like, hey, bro, like, look, like, man, you see me sitting here. Don't disrespect me, when it comes to,
You would
in
say
front
that.
of me. Yeah. If I felt a certain way, I'd be like, hey, I wouldn't wait for this dude to walk off and be like, hey, you should tell him no. Now, I have an issue that if she's flirting with me or she's flirting with you,
she's flirting with me, okay.
or she or he is flirting with
Yeah.
you, right? And I have an issue, and I have an issue, and you're flirting back. You're using these same terms, or you're feeding into it.
Back.
I'm
That's
just saying,
a problem.
or you're feeding into it or whatnot. Then I have an issue with you.
Totally.
No, it's no longer with that person.
I agree.
Right, because I'm not in a relationship with that person.
You should have.
Period. Yes. So when it comes
blank.
down to it, if you have an issue, my opinion, if you have an issue with somebody, it's your responsibility.
Well, did you read Jasmine's where she said the person bothered can? I'm not making a scene to something I ain't aware of.
Yes, I agree.
That's what you said. Because if I'm oblivious, is what he's saying. If I'm oblivious,
I'm with Jasmine.
How am I going to bring it up?
Right? Because I don't know why you are bothered. And I don't have time for you to tell me so I can explain it to someone else.
So
you tell
just
that
want
person.
Me to bring it up.
Yeah, you tell that person.
I think the reason I would possibly is because I may cause a scene and you are more reasonable. So then I feel like you would handle it better.
Because I don't think there's a scene to be made.
I hear you. But again, some people can be very bold to where you may need to address it.
There's two situations here.
There's not.
Yes, if I address the situation,
you're assuming that they're on their best behavior.
No,
what
I'm saying is, if there's bold people and I address you, right, and I feel that comfortable for me to address you, I have two options. Either, once again, I'm going to address you straightforward and tell you knock it off, or I'm going to talk to a manager and try to find somebody else to wait us.
Yeah.
I don't have to stand up and cause no scene or try to fight anybody or this, that, and the other.
Some people do that.
And I don't know why.
You don't.
What comes out of that?
Again, this podcast, we try to think of all scenarios.
and I get
all
it.
Personalities and all perspectives. And there are people who are hot-headed.
Right.
Or if they feel disrespected, they are going to blow up with no care in the world.
Yes, I get it.
Okay.
Jasmine says, can't make a scene. Now we both embarrassed over something not so serious if I'm leaving with you anyway. And I agree. If I'm going to leave with you anyway, I'm not going to cause a scene because now I'm still hungry. Now we're going to fight in the car. You and I are going to fight because now we got to find another place to eat.
Jasmine's very passive like you, I feel. Jasmine's like, going through life like
Jazz, don't let her talk to you like that. You know you my
like
bestie.
I know y'all are like two peas
Sosa.
in
Sosa.
y'all are two peas in a pod, so you guys don't seem like you would like be bothered.
I don't think I would be
I just
bothered.
think that there's levels. I feel like in general you won't, and your like take shit levels are probably lower than others, but there's others where they're
and I agree,
less.
everyone's different, but when it comes to me, like I said, it just depends on the level of disrespect. Like if it becomes disrespectful to me, I think it worked up to become disrespectful. You see what I'm saying? I don't think I sit down and some dude is like, "Oh, damn, girl, your titties is hanging out." Like, woo! You know, I don't think people approach folks like that when they're with someone. I just don't think that happens. So I think over time, like me paying attention to this dude or female or whatever, I think that it works up to me being a certain way. Yeah. For me to leave or cause a scene, I have to be pissed off to the highest state of pissivity for me to cause a scene. Because I think that there's levels for me to address before it even gets to the cause a scene level. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying too.
So in your case, answer the same question when it comes to responsibilities. Whose responsibility is it to correct the issue?
The person who's being flirted with.
You didn't say that before.
You should know. Yes, I did.
Oh, you said the person is being flirted with.
You should know.
Okay.
What's appropriate, what's not appropriate. If you know your person, you should know if they're going to like or not like. And you should know if that person is being obvious flirt or just friendly.
So basically what you're saying is you're going to be pissed off at the person that's flirting and you're going to be pissed off at me because I should have known.
Yes.
And I should have addressed that
I wouldn't
situation.
be mad at you for you should have known, but I feel like you should read the room and you should know your significant other.
When we were in Vegas, you got mad at me.
Yeah.
But I didn't have nothing to do with it. I didn't even know.
That was my thing is you were, and it was fairly like what's the word? We were like newer into our relationship. So I hadn't fully learned you either. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So then at that time, I'm like, you were so oblivious. And he was all giggly, but now that I know him, he was giggly because he was drunk, not giggly because you were drunk, remember? And you got that big old beer too.
That's
yes.
Oh yeah.
You were already drunk, and it was during the day.
No,
yes.
I was not drunk.
Yes, you were.
No, because we went to that restaurant for like
Ron
breakfast.
Gets giggly when he's drunk when he's buzzed. Yes, you do. Okay.
I thought we went there first for breakfast. Then I had that big 32 ounce. And then we went to the
you
spot.
might be right.
Yeah, then we went to the cabana.
Well, that's worse. So you weren't even drunk. You were all giggly, like, ha, ha, ha. Ha, 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 ha. That's probably what pissed me off more.
What? Okay.
So his fault.
Then we were in Vegas.
His fault.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was bold.
I didn't see it as being bold.
I was like, this bitch. And then Ron just follows her, and I'm still standing there like I was heated. Oh. And then she served us the whole time.
Yeah, she really
And Ron's still all giggly.
Hey, I'm trying to eat. I wasn't paying that girl no attention. But you did.
You should have known better.
You paid her attention. I didn't pay her no attention. It was what it
now was. That I think like I'm more like secure. It's not new. We've been together almost 12 years. Almost 12 years. Like it would roll off my
yeah, because there's no intention.
Well, actually, I deal with that every day.
What?
I'm just saying. Because you're TikTok famous. And there's girls all the time making comments.
TikTok famous, but
if y'all go look at his TikTok,
no.
Ron is a chick magnet.
Don't
and
listen
all
to
the
that.
Go look, guys.
I have a podcast.
All these girls are all no, not even girls, even guys.
Some guys, yeah.
Some guys
But
are
I
bold
don't
with
treat
it,
nobody different.
and they are just complimenting him left and right. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, only because I used to do a live podcast on TikTok, and I might start back at doing a podcast on TikTok, which is it's called "Boy, What the F Do You Want?" You can find it on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and whatnot from my past things. So I used to do it every Thursday around the same time, and then people would chime in and whatnot. So
but he had a lot of followers. I don't know why you stopped doing that.
I don't know.
I could be making bank right now.
TikTok doesn't pay like y'all think it does pay, but whatever.
Anyways, so yeah, there's a lot of inappropriate women there. And again, that doesn't bother me. It's his responses that bother me.
And I would agree. At first, when the young ladies were reaching out and they were saying certain things, I would, put a heart or, this, that, and the other, or respond. I wouldn't respond inappropriately, but I wouldn't respond appropriately either. You know what I mean? So
correct. He didn't really know like the boundary.
Yeah, because it was kind of new to me. So at that time, I was like, okay. But now, I appreciate everybody that supports me on there. So I'll just say, like, thank you.
Or he'll just like it, but not respond to it. Again, there's levels. Like, I am way more concerned about his response and how he handles it rather than that person. Because we can never control others. We can only control ourselves. Would you agree?
That's true.
Yeah.
So
anyways, this was a fun one.
I think so. I really thank you guys for chiming in, and just pay attention next time that you go out to a restaurant or someplace and somebody's waiting on you.
Yeah.
See if they use some of these terms of endearment, and does it make a difference to you, or how do you see it if they're coming on to or flirting with their significant other, or just being nice? Right?
Yeah.
I think there is a big difference. And your response should be as such.
Handle accordingly.
Yeah, handle accordingly. You know what disrespect is. But like I say, give the person at the lowest level the opportunity to correct whatever it is that you think is inappropriate first. If they continue on doing it, then you take it up the channel.
Yeah.
Don't automatically jump off the
levels.
Yeah, don't automatically jump off the hinges and start swinging or this, that, and the other, or I need to talk to the manager. Let the person know, because who they dealt with prior to you, it might have been okay. You know what I mean? Depending on where they were from. They might not know any different. Especially when you go to some places like Twin Peaks or Ojos Locos here in Albuquerque.
That's their persona.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be flirty.
Right, they're supposed to be that way. So don't get butthurt if somebody's coming on to your significant other, but the level of disrespect when it comes to going to places like that. Yeah. Period.
So as always, we thank you guys for always supporting us, especially those that come back every week.
Yes.
Speaking of every week, did you decide, are you going to get on next week? I won't be here next week. I have a business trip that I got to go on, and I leave on Thursday.
Right. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do one yet. I will look through my topics to see if I will do one by myself. Yes, and then I will.
Don't do a good one without me. Be boring.
I would probably do one that I have done on my previous shows on like TikTok or something like that, or one that I already have on deck that I want to do.
Maybe you could do the one. Have we done it?
Which one?
Maybe we have. About when is it to listen versus.
Oh yeah, we've done that already.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a list of topics that I want to do on my personal podcast. I might do one of those next week, but
dabble on Chatter.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll put it out there next week and see if you guys are interested, or see if I'm actually in the mood to do so. And then we'll just press on from there. But we really appreciate all of you guys' support. Thank you, Meg, for letting us know about the sharing.
Sharing.
We
thought only our YouTube came on our thing, but now we know by making it shareable to the public.
Yeah, to the public. Right.
You learn something new.
So
again.
We appreciate you guys. Today is Thursday. Weekend is coming up pretty soon. Just make sure you guys be safe.
Peace out.